Hello and welcome to today's presentation on setting up a high quality under 3 setting which enables children to learn through play. My name is Alison Young and I hope you enjoy this presentation and perhaps further understand the reasoning behind our approach. I'm going to firstly give you a wee bit background information on who we are and how we got to where we are today. Our Under 3 setting is part of Smilechildcare, a registered charitable organisation located in southwest Edinburgh in an area of high deprivation. We have been around since 1995 and I've worked in various roles within the organisation since 1998. Smilechildcare provide care for children 0 to 12 years throughout our Under 3 setting, our 3 to 5-year-old setting and in our out of school services. August 2020 was the start of our Under 3 journey, and this is when my new title became Under 3 Manager. The opportunity to set up a temporary Under 3 setting, as the current 0 to 5 setting was not large enough to accommodate all the staff and children whilst remaining within COVID guidelines, was exciting but daunting. The decision was made to adapt the existing out of school centre into a temporary Under 3 setting, and along with a brand new team we had the mammoth task of emptying the existing building and creating a 0 to 3 centre within 2 weeks. To say this was a challenge is an understatement. However, 2 years on, we're delighted at how successful we have been. We now have permanent care inspectorate registration, have been registered as a partner provider nursery, providing placement for terrific twos, along with having the pleasure of welcoming more than 60 new children. The most important part of our journey was to start with a good clear vision on what an Under 3 setting should look like. What did these wee ones need and how could we use the available space to give them this? Having recently completed the Level 9 childhood practice, I had a clear vision on how I believed an Under 3 setting should operate. However, we had to consider the impact of the pandemic and lockdown carefully on these wee ones too. As a team, we talked and threw all our ideas and feelings around, and eventually created a strong vision which everyone believed in. From the start, we were very clear we would be a respectful team and that everyone should feel valued and listened to. We played to our strengths and supported each other on the hard days and even more on the even harder days. We were all passionate and excited and agreed no watered down version of school would ever be the best thing for these wee ones, and with many of the children being born throughout COVID, a homely environment was our top priority. We talked at length about what a real home from home environment looks and feels like and came up with numerous ways we could do this. All our furniture is pre-loved, mostly free from gumtree, and we have real tables and chairs, not tables and chairs made for a nursery. There are comfy chairs for staff to sit on, and we have fireplaces, soft lighting, cosy corners and authentic pre-loved resources with a calming colour scheme throughout. The children are not contained in one room and can move throughout the building and out to the garden just as you would do at home. As any nursery setting knows, there are lots of domestic jobs that are necessary for day-to-day running, and the children are encouraged to help with these jobs, such as hanging and sorting out washing, sweeping up, watering the plants, gardening and helping to prepare snacks. These activities allow children to learn in a non-structured environment with endless opportunities to develop a wide range of skills, particularly language and numeracy skills. Children are able to rest when they are weary and they are competent in asking for a snack if they are peckish. Following on from this, we also agreed that rather than split the children into separate age groups as traditionally happens in nursery, we would operate a mixed age group setting and use the areas as we would at home. Within your house you do not spend all day in one room, so why would this be the best environment for children in a nursery? The setting is made up of a large play area with a partially divided wall and a smaller playroom. We made the decision to make half the large playroom a more traditional play area, and the other area is set up as our dining room and our indoor play area. The smaller room is used as a sand atelier and a sleep area. I will explain about the sand atelier later on. The children are able to be in any of these areas that they choose, and both playrooms have direct access to a fully enclosed garden, which they can also access whenever they choose. Caring for children of mixed age groups needs to be risk assessed and well supervised, however the benefits far outweigh the risks. It is magical to watch the 2-year-olds try to put the socks on the babies when they have kicked them off, and to see them play peekaboo with them when they are upset. It's also fantastic for the younger children to learn from the older children, and a great example of this is at mealtimes. Meal times are one of our favourite parts of the day, and we feel that we are constantly progressing with this, enabling the children to have more freedom, responsibility and choice. Our first thoughts were to have a rolling lunch, and we do still offer this, but to be honest, this hasn't happened yet, as the children smell the food cooking and see the other children washing their hands ready for lunch, and they're straight in behind them. We think it's unfair to make them wait till there's a space, so we acquired full-size family dining tables to allow us to eat together. The tables have tablecloths and flowers and vases on them, just like they might do at home, although we do need very strong table clips to keep this in place. These tables allow the younger children in high chairs to be at the same height as everyone else, and similar to how many meal times are at home. All children, even the youngest, are offered food as opposed to this being plated up and served to them. And it's incredible to see a child not yet one being able to help themselves to a piece of fruit or spoon on pasta which has been offered to them from a bowl. All serving dishes within the under threes are traditional pre-loved ceramic bowls, and all meals are prepared and offered to the children in these serving dishes, which are placed in the centre of the table. Children are supported in helping themselves to what they would like, and as all food is healthy, nothing is encouraged or discouraged. The social skills these children are gaining are huge, and it's priceless to hear them offer the plate to the child next to them with familiar phrases they have learned, such as, "Would you like some more peas?" Mealtimes are always unhurried and are not always at the exact same time, as it depends on how the children are playing and whether lunchtime at their normal time would annul play. Mealtimes are viewed as enjoyable social experiences, not another task to be carried out throughout a busy day, and staff sit alongside the children, also enjoying lunch while encouraging social chat. We believe that offering meals and snacks in this way encourages children to have a positive relationship with food and start them on their journey of making healthy choices throughout their lives. Sleep time is believed to be equally as important in meal times, and we've agreed that the environment the children sleep in should be very carefully considered. We use a smaller playroom for our after-lunch sleeps, however children can sleep or rest when they need to during the day. Sleep can be either indoors or out, and we have a great shelter in the garden that children can sleep in, and cots and beds available to allow sleeping outdoors all year round. A staff member recently attended sleep type training, and this has given us lots of indicators to ensure children are having restful sleep. The beds are laid out in alphabetical order to allow as much as possible for children to be sleeping in a similar space, just like you would do at home, and next to a familiar child wherever possible. The sleep area is carefully set up before the children come through, with open windows, low lights and relaxing familiar music playing. Carrying out familiar rituals such as this enables the children to feel secure and understand the environment and routines associated with sleep. The children can sleep as long as they like, and the importance of good sleep routines for children is shared with parents to support this. Within the sleep room we have big comfy chairs to allow staff to offer children a bottle comfortably and to allow proper comfort for children who require this. When awaking, the children are encouraged to take their time and come round when they are ready, resulting in a happier, more relaxed rest of the day. All staff have a great understanding of the importance of strong attachments with familiar caregivers, and evidence has shown that by affording children the time and opportunity to become familiar with the environment and the adults, they will feel safe and secure. Staff are encouraged to spend time comforting children, and cuddling is a very big part of our day. How can anyone think cuddling a child who just needs a cuddle is not important? Another great way to support strong attachments is to be of the mindset that care needs are as important, if not more, as academics. Staff recognise that children need their basic care needs met to a high standard before they are able to get the most from their environment and learning experiences. Strong, real, secure relationships are at the core of who we are. As you know, we view sleep time and meal times as a key part in our day, but nappy changing and personal care is viewed as important. Staff are supported in slowing down, making this an opportunity for one-to-one time and a chance to further build on the relationships they have with each child. There's nothing worse than nappy changing time being like a conveyor belt of nappies, rushing to get through them as quick as possible. Staff love having the opportunity to change a nappy in a non-hurried way and make sure each nappy change is full of fun, chats and laughter, an opportunity to give each child their undivided attention in a warm, caring environment. We all agreed that with our knowledge we can provide care for the children. However, we also believe strong partnerships with parents is vital. We as caregivers respect parents and work hard to make this partnership work, and a relaxed, respectful approach works well for us. Parents are trusting us with their most precious asset, and although we have looked after lots and lots of children, we haven't looked after their child. Right from the start, we aim to make parents feel valued, and we have recently reviewed our induction process to reflect this. Inductions with parents are less about completing necessary paperwork, but more on focusing on the uniqueness of their child. We spend our induction visit asking all about the child's likes, dislikes and needs, and encourage parents to tell us everything, no matter how trivial it may sound. This information is shared with the whole team, so we all feel we know the child and their family before they join us. Calling parents by their names, encouraging them to email and phone, and giving thoughtful feedback, not just "we've had a great day," allows relationships to develop and strengthen. Now that COVID restrictions are lifting, we find stay and play sessions are a priceless way to strengthen relationships, as it allows the families to see where the child spends their days, ask questions and understand their approach, as well as witness firsthand the bond staff have with their children. We strongly believe that learning through play is the best way to allow children to learn and develop and enable them to become lifelong learners. Play allows children to use what they already know to learn what they don't know. Children instinctively play, and by having a rich environment with ample opportunities for play, supports learning, opposed to having pre-planned activities with a specific aim. Open-ended, accessible resources are available to offer children the opportunity to be curious, discover the world around them, and learn what they choose to learn when they want to learn it. Discussions from practitioners are rich, and by responding to what the child is asking, we fill their cups with knowledge, extending their learning as and when. Opportunities for support and learning are everywhere. A pile of autumn leaves, the smell, the colours, their texture are all fascinating to a child. And as all children learn differently, in different ways and at different times, why would we plan an activity with a predetermined idea of the outcome for children? Allowing children to be pilots of their own play, focusing on the process, not the result, supports curiosity, and we always remember that play can also just be pure old-fashioned fun. It doesn't need to have an outcome, and let's face it, having fun and a good sense of humour is a great way to get through life. In order to support learning through play, we carry out intentional planning and planning in the moment. We all agreed that we can't plan what children are going to learn, and how would we know that they had learnt it? In order for children to be lifelong learners, we must allow them from an early age to take charge of their own learning. We can help along the way by having a rich environment and by practitioners being available to support learning. However, we should never have a planned outcome for an activity. Learning can be supported by our richest resource, our practitioners, in the form of observing play and further supporting learning as and when. For more information on planning in the moment, you may want to look up Anna F. Grave, as she provides excellent guidance to support you on this journey. Extensive discussion took place on how we would resource the setting, and we all agreed that authentic and pre-loved resources were far more valuable to support children's learning and development than toys. How much more homely is it if we have an environment which looks like a home, with comfy chairs, lamps, fireplaces and real pictures, not child-sized furniture with toys and resources made for children with only one purpose. We have real handbags, costume jewellery and watches, along with real clothing rather than dressing up clothing available for the children to use. How much more fun is it to wear real adult shoes as opposed to wearing plastic dressing up shoes? The plates in the house corner are ceramic, and the children are trusted with breakable resources. All resources are risk assessed, and occasionally we have a breakage, but to be honest, it's less than once a week. Authentic resources allow children to learn how to handle items with care, along with experiencing different textures, weights, shapes and sizes. Authentic and pre-loved resources are not just kept for the play areas, but throughout the entire setting, including the staff room, hallways and front reception. The setting is also carefully adorned with multicultural resources supporting inclusion, rather than focusing on festivals when they occur. We have large frame pictures of various ethnicities and ceramic ornaments throughout. Asian lanterns hang from the ceiling, and wall art with writing and images of many cultures is visible for the children to see. Loose parts, large and small, are sprinkled throughout the setting to support children's learning and can be used however the children wish, supporting imagination and creativity. It's wonderful to see the children using a simple scarf in numerous ways throughout the day. To envelope a resource, to envelope themselves, to play peekaboo, to hide, to use as a blanket, to wear as a dressing up outfit, or to swaddle a baby. Take an empty perfume bottle. This could be used as a thermometer or a baby bottle for a doll. A mark maker in the Play-Doh, a pretend pourer to add to a mixture, or a statue on top of the brick tower. As conscientious practitioners, we don't attempt to guess what the resources will be used for. We sit back and observe and extend play opportunities when necessary. Loose parts are so much more interesting than toys. They have a texture and a smell, as opposed to plastic toys which all smell, feel and look the same. Their uses are endless, and that is the beauty of loose parts. No predetermined outcome from adults. Let the children lead their own learning. Having discussed authentic resources and loose parts as a team, we knew we had to use our understanding of schematic play and child development to ensure our environment allowed the children to flourish. Resources were gathered and are regularly replenished: baskets to transport, wheels to roll, funnels, water pipes, scarves, ribbons, cable wheels to allow posting, cardboard boxes and items with wheels. The children are always busy pottering, and with the right resources in the right environment, learning and development is inevitable. Our understanding of schematic play and child development leads us to our most exciting area yet, our sand atelier, where there are endless opportunities to support schematic play. Our sand atelier has been our best idea to date. We are overwhelmed by the success of this area and would urge any setting who can create this to do so. The small playroom to begin with was being used as a smaller play area. However, we felt that a lot of what was occurring here was duplicating what was happening in the main play area. Our aim is to offer children as many opportunities as we can. Therefore, after a lot of research and even more discussions, we decided to give creating a sand atelier a bash. We had nothing to lose, and as we'd observed that offering children a small amount of sand seemed pointless, as all the children wanted to do was transport it all over the place, often leaving little sand in the sand tray. We therefore went about collecting resources to set up a sand atelier, and the success of this area has exceeded all our expectations. We would love you to all come along and visit if possible, as it doesn't do it justice to explain it. However, I will try. The sand atelier is a cool, tranquil room with soft lightings and fairy lights throughout. Sand is available in picnic hampers, suitcases, on mirrors, on the floor, and in large or small bowls on tabletops. This is accompanied by smaller resources such as combs, necklaces, glass bottles, sieves, funnels, teaspoons, ladles, makeup brushes, teapots, weighing scales, along with loose parts such as shells, stones and corks. The benefits of this area are far more than a therapeutic opportunity for the children, and there are really too many to list. The main benefits, however, are improving scientific and numeracy skills, cause and effect, cognitive processes, hand-eye coordination, mark making, problem solving, expanding vocabulary, sharing and cooperating. By having a room where sand can be used as the children wish supports schematic play in a number of ways. In particular, the transporting schema, as the children can freely move the items around, the positioning schema through aligning objects, the connecting schema by adding water, mixing wet and dry sand, and the enveloping schema, as the area allows for the covering of objects or the children themselves. Maintaining the area is easy with only two simple rules. The children have quickly become familiar with these, and it's no shoes, barefoot or socks only, and no throwing of sand. Once the play is over, staff sweep and sift the sand to ensure it's clean before resetting the area, ensuring the resources are attractively displayed and easily accessible. Another way we recognise the success of this area is by linking this to Leuven scales. Through observation, we have recognised that all children are displaying high levels of emotional well-being and engagement with great concentration faces. We have also found that children who at times score low on Leuven scales are evidently more engaged when in this area, allowing them the opportunity to experience deeper learning. If you'd like more information on this, please get in touch, as it's truly magical to see how engaged the children are through such a simple concept. As a team, we believe that continuous development and continuously developing an environment is vital. An example of this is when we acquired a used chicken coop in the shape of a small house, and after a lot of discussion, we decided to make this into an outdoor art atelier. An atelier is a workspace or studio and allows children to use their imagination and create what they choose to create, not what we suggest. When children are given a piece of paper to draw or paint on, they are so limited and have little opportunity to show their creative side. Within the art atelier, we have full-length plastic sheets which the children can draw or paint on, along with a mirror and lots of shelving at different levels and benches, allowing the children to also use clay and Play-Doh. Children can work away unaided and uninterrupted, and there's no right or wrong way to use the resources. And by having such a large space, children are able to be creative whilst being active. It's incredible to observe the children using the resources in whatever way they choose, with every child displaying their diversity and creating their own masterpiece. Having the larger areas where no end product is necessary also allows children to use their whole body and have a full range of movement in their arms. It also allows them to create bigger paintings and put more energy into their creation. Having originally focused on our indoor environment, we very quickly became aware that if children were to be encouraged to be outdoors as often as possible, we needed to ensure that the garden area was not an afterthought. Again, we spent a considerable amount of time collecting loose parts and resources to support schematic play, and this has resulted in a very well used garden. Our outdoor area is made up entirely of loose parts, both large and small. We have large and small tyres, tubing, pallets and ladders to make climbing frames, a mud kitchen, a stone river, a bug hotel and digging areas along with loose parts to support play. We believe it's key to have the area set up as attractively as it is indoors, with loose parts replenished regularly. The mud kitchen is always attractively set up with jugs of water, flowers, herbs, sticks and stones to support play, as a mud kitchen which is left untidily is not attractive to anyone. Wheels are one of our greatest resources in the garden, and staff spend hours and hours rolling wheels for the children to chase. Eventually the children learn to do this alone, and it's fantastic to watch the older children rolling them for the younger children. Books are also available around the garden, and spontaneous dancing and singing sessions are also the norm. As a setting, we believe that no resource should be limited to one area, and every area within the nursery, both indoors and out, has books and numeric resources to support learning. We have everyday items with visible text and numbers on them, such as recipe books in the mud kitchen, or our favourite resource, a free supermarket magazine. What better way to strike up an intentional planning conversation with a child than by looking through the latest Tesco magazine? We love that the children don't have to go to the one area to look at a book and sit a certain way, while we allow the children to stand, lie or sit on an adult's knee with a book, hopefully encouraging children to have a lifelong love of language and reading. We provide children with waterproof clothing, allowing comfortable play in all weathers, and we agree with the saying, no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. We embrace all weathers, jumping or lying in the puddles, using the rainwater to paint the garden with the paintbrushes and rollers, crunching in the leaves and catching snowflakes on our tongue, supporting a lifetime of loving the outdoors and nature. We believe our key to success is continuously learning. We're always sharing articles, blogs and pictures with each other, and continuously observing the children and considering what we can do to improve outcomes. We have banned the saying because we've always done it that way, and through playing to our strengths, respecting the children, the parents and each other, I'm excited to see where we'll be in another 2 years. That's the presentation completed, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you've got a greater understanding of our approach. If you have any questions or like to get in touch, I can be contacted by email. If you'd like to come for a visit, we'd be delighted to show you around. Thanks very much.